Welcome back, folks. In today's class, I'll be talking about one question based on the concept which we've learned in the last class on the normal distribution. So one more time, I'm just going to give you a quick recap of the what we learned in the last class. We talked about the normal distribution graph, and in between the numbers here, we talked about these numbers are the probabilities, and the probability start from the zero goes to approximately one. If you see the probability table, it goes to 0.9999, and here it is 0.0001. So I just, for the sake of simplicity, I'm marking it as from 0 to 1, and you can also call it as 0% to 100% also, and it always moves in this direction, the probability values. Right in the middle, because we're starting from here, the right in the middle, the probability value will be 50%, and the middle will also be called as this will be called as mean, which is represented by symbol mu or x bar, depending upon what the question is. And then you may have to find the x values, and another thing was z values. So z value right in the middle is equal to 0. On the left hand side, the z values are negative and goes up to maximum of negative 3.6. On the positive side, it goes up to the maximum of positive 3.6. On this side, the z values are positive. On this side, the z values are negative. If the value, whatever x value is, which is bigger than mean value, then you're going to represent it on the right hand side of the graph. If it is less than the mean value, you will represent it on the left hand side. For more detail, you can check the previous video. All right, let's talk about this question. Canada is known for one of the most expensive countries in the world when it comes to the cellular services. Suppose the average cost of the cell phone plan in Canadian cities follows a normal distribution with the mean of 97.31 and a standard deviation of 6.35. If someone in one of the Canada's major cities is signing for a cell phone plan contract, what is the probability that it will cost less than $90? So the amount is given to me. So when the amount is given to me, I'll compare it with the mean. Okay, I will represent it somewhere on this line, this line, which I am redrawing it with the green color. Okay, so less than $90. So the mean value is 97.31, and so obviously $90 will be on the left side, so I'll represent the 90 somewhere here. Okay, and if you look into the formula booklet, there is a formula for z-score which is given to you, z equal to x minus mean divided by sigma. So sigma is the standard deviation, mu is the mean, x is the value correspond to the given question, and z is the number of standard deviation. This is the amount of standard deviation. This is the number of standard deviation. This is basically the same formula. I'm not sure whether I talked about this in the last video or not, so I'm going to re-talk about this thing. So this is basically the same formula which you've learned in chapter number 3. So the formula was x lower limit, or x equal to mean plus k times standard deviation. This is the formula we talked about. Okay, and this was the upper limit, and the lower limit was x equal to mean minus k times standard deviation. So it's exactly the same thing now. It's just rearranged and written in this format. Okay, and k is being replaced with the z. That's the only difference. All right, now let's talk about this question. So we're uh, looking for if someone in Canadian city is signing for the cell phone contract, what is the probability? So we are looking for the probability value. So to find the probability, I need the z-score. Sometimes probability will be given, you will be finding the z-score. Sometimes z-score will be given and you will be find the probability. So you will always keep on moving between p, z, and x. Okay, so if x is given, you will go from x to go find the z, and then you find the probability. Sometimes probability will be given, you will go and find the z, and from there you will find the x value. That's about it in these questions. Okay, so now in this question x is given, so I'll put the 90 minus 97 point how much it is, 31, and then divided by standard deviation, which is sigma. Sigma is equal to 6.35, which is equal to z. That's how I'm going to find it. So this gonna come across as 7.7.31 divided by 6.35 equal to z. So 7.31 divided by 6.35, and which is 1.15. One more time, z value is only up to 2 decimal places. Probability value is up to 4 decimal places until or unless you are given or asked to find it to some other decimals. But z value will always be 2 decimal, except there are two exceptions given to you. One of them is 1.645. Another one is also beside it, so you can check it on your formula booklet on the table for z score. That's where it is mentioned. And so we figured out the z value, and then once we figured out the z value, I will now go and look for the probability. So let me, oops, I need to go back and switch my computer settings, and just give me half a minute and I will be right back with you guys. And all right, welcome back, folks. I didn't realize that I have it from my previous lecture. So I'm gonna directly use that z table down here, which because it is given to me here. So we figured out the z value as 1.15, 1.15 with the negative sign. See, I'm gonna go back here and rewrite this because this is subtraction. This will be a negative. So z value is a negative value here. So if I look into the negative 1.15, so this is z value. This blue one is z value. So 1.15, 5 will be on top here, 1.15 here, and then I will move in this direction, and from top I'll come in the downward direction, and 0.1251, that will be the number I'm gonna get. So the final answer will be 0. Probability value will be 0.1251. So what does this mean? So if I go back and look into the table down here, so this was the $90. So it means a 12.51% people, because the probability value came out to be 0.1251. So approximately 12.51% people will pay less than $90. That's what it means. So less than $90. 12.51% of the people will pay that much, less than the $90. So hopefully you were able to understand this concept. All right, so I'm going to erase this so that I have more clearer picture here. And so one more thing which I didn't write it, I should always write the probability value here as probability equal to x less than 90, which is equal to 0.1251, because that's what the question says. All right, let's look into the next question. Greater than $110, greater than 110. So obviously the mean value is 97.31. So 110 will be on this side, 110. And so I'm looking for probability for x greater than 110. That's what I'm looking for. So same process I'm going to repeat. I'm going to first of all find the z-score, which is 110 minus 97.31 divided by 6.35. Let me quickly check it. Yes, it is 6.35. So if I do this calculations on my calculator, this will come out to be 110 minus 97.31 and divided by 6.35. which is 1.998. So I'm going to round up to two decimal places, which will be approximately 2.00. So once I got the z value as 2.00, again I'm going to go back and look into this table. This time the value came out to be positive, so I'm going to look into the second one. So this is 2.00. So this value 0, this 0, and this will be the value 0.9772. So 9772 will be the value. So z value, well, probability for x greater than, we are looking for greater than 110. That's what we are looking for. So we are looking for this section, and what we figured out is, we figured out this section, because as I told you in the last lecture, probability always starts from the left, moves towards the right. So the number which we figured out, 0.9772, I guess, let me quickly recheck that number. 0.9772, yes. So that means from the zero you are covering 97.72% of the area. So from here to here, that's much section. Okay, and you wanted to find out this one now. So this will be 1 minus probability x less than 110. So this will be 1 minus 0.9772, which will come across as 1 minus 0.9772, which is 0.0228, or I can say 2.28% of the people, they will pay more than $110 in their plan, according to this question, or according to the data given to us. All right, let me make a little bit of space down here so that I can solve the part C here. And okay, so I think I have almost enough space. So let's try and solve this question. Okay, between $95 and $110, between 95 and $100, how are we gonna solve that? Between 95. So again, I'm gonna redraw the normal distribution graph. Oops. So it's gonna look something like this. Okay. Now $100 will be somewhere here. This is 97 point. Mean value is 97 point, given to me 3131, and this is $100, and then $95, which will be on the left hand side. So 95 to 100. So I'm looking for this section. So how I'm going to be able to find this section? So what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to find out the probability values from here up to this point minus probabilities of from this point to this point. So if I subtract that, I'm going to get this section. So probability of x less than 100 minus probability of x less than 95, that's going to give me the answer for my question. All right, so I have to find the z-score correspond to 95. First of all, z-score value 95 minus 97.31 divided by 6.35, that value will be 2.31 divided by 6.35, which comes across as 0.36, and correspond to 0.36. I'll find the probability value, and for 100. So this one was for z x less than 95. Okay, now I'm gonna find z x less than 100, which will be 100 minus 97.31 divided by 6.35, which will be 100 minus 97.31, and this the top one should have been a negative value, divided by 6.35, which comes across as 0.42. So I'll find the probability correspond to this and then this. So negative 0.36, negative 0.3, and then 6 also. 6 will go from here down here. This is 0.3594. 0.3594. So probability value x less than 95 is point, well, I forgot. What did I, 0.3594. My memory is weak. 3594. Okay, and for correspond to 0.42, if I look for 0.42, that should be 0.426628, 0.6628. So probability value will be x less than 100 is 0.6628, I guess. Yeah, I think this is the number I got. I don't want to re-look into it, but whatever number you got, you can use that. Okay, so probability of x less than 100 minus probability x less than 95 will be equal to 0.6628 minus 0.3594, and that's going to give you final answer. So that number will be 0.6628 minus 0.3594, and that gives me 30 point, well, or 0.3034, which means 30.34% of the people will pay between 95 and $100. That's what the meaning of this question is. All right, now let's look into the B part of this question. So the part B of this question is, what is the cost of the cell phone plan that correspond to the 5 percentile? So correspond to 5 percentile we are looking for. So in this one, we are given the rank, and your probabilities are ranked in when you look into the normal distribution graph. So we are looking for 95 percentile. So where will be the 5 percentile? Because as I said, probabilities are starting from the 0 here and goes in this direction, 50% here, and it reaches to 100% here of the area. If I put it in area form, if I put in probability from 0.5, and it will be 1 here. Okay, so 5 percentile. What is the meaning of 5 percentile? So 5% of the area. So that will be from the beginning down here. So this is what is the cell phone cost? What is the x value here? So we are given probability equal to 0.05, because 5 percentile means 5 divided by 100. If I convert it into probability, 0.05, that's the number you're going to get. So probability is given to you. You will find the z-score, and then from there you will find the x-score. Okay, so 0.05. Let me look into the table. I will look into this table because we are on the left hand side. So 0.05, where is the 0.05? 0.03, 0.05, somewhere here. So see, right in the middle. So this is a perfect example. This value 0.05 is exactly in the middle of these two values. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to look at this z-score table. I'm going to take it to 3 decimal places now. Negative 1.645, negative 1.645, negative 1.645. That's the value I'm going to get for the z-score. And now negative 1.645 equal to x minus mean divided by sigma. So that value will come across as the sigma value is 6.35, x value is we are looking for, and mean value is 97.31, negative 1.645. So negative 1.645 multiplied by 6.35, and which is equal to x minus 97.31, and this is going to move on the other side, will become a positive number. And so I will write it as minus 1.645. Oh, let me do the calculation too. 1.645 multiplied by 6.35, that comes out to be negative 10.445 or 446 and plus 97.31 equal to x. So that value is minus 97.31. That number comes out to be approximately 86.86, and I think I have to round it to one decimal places. Does it say to correspond to this cell phone? Because this is a cell phone contract and the money is involved, if it doesn't say anything, I'll round it to two decimal places. So $86.86, that will be the amount I'm gonna get from doing this question. All right, so hopefully you were able to understand for the 5 percentile. Same way we're gonna do for 95 percentile. So 95 percentile will be here, and let's try and find quickly for 95 percentile. So again, probability is 0.95. Okay, and z-score you will find correspond to that. Once you figure out the z-score, that if you're gonna go and look into it, will come out to be 1.645 positive. Try it, I'm pretty sure it's gonna come out to be this. And then I will find the x value. So x value will be, to find the x value, first of all I'll put the values in the formula. Negative 1.645 equal to x minus mean value is 97.31 and divided by 6.35, that's gonna give me the answer. So negative 1.645 times it by 6.35 and plus 97.31 equal to x. So the number should, well, I don't know why I write the negative here. This should be a positive because this is positive number, and this is on the right hand side, and z-scores are positive on this side. So 1.645 multiplied by 6.35 plus 97.31 comes out to be 107.76. So that's the amount I got from doing my work. And yeah, so that's about the part 2. And boundaries of the middle 50%. So this I'll give you the hint, and will encourage you to finish it by yourself. So middle 50%, what is the meaning of middle 50%? It means 25% from the 50% to the right, 25% to the left. This will be the middle 50%. So what will be the probability correspond to this point? This will be probability of 0.25, means this is this section which we are leaving. Let me color this section. The pink section which I'm leaving is 25% of the section. On the right, I'm leaving the 25% of the section, and I'm looking for the middle 50% of this section. So that's why the probability value I took here is 0.25, and here I'll take it 0.75, and you will find the value of x correspond to 0.25, find the value correspond to 0.75, and those will be your boundaries. So x value correspond to the probability of 0.25, probability of 0.25, and x value correspond to the probability of 0.75, and you will find these two values. Those will be your boundaries. So hopefully you were able to understand how to solve this question. So I will encourage you guys and girls to try and do question number 20 on the book, because I took the 19 which was on page number 341. So 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. If you can do these questions, those should be good enough to tell you how to solve these questions. Yeah, pretty much that's about it. If you can solve those questions thoroughly, and if you want to try some other questions also, if you're not confident, you can try question number 32 also, 31, 32 too. All right, that's it from my side. I will see you with another video from chapter 8 if possible. Till then, goodbye.